stand straight, hold down, we shall be free. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Thank you, John. That was wonderful. I never interfere with what music is going to happen whenever I speak. When I was a spiritual leader in Grand Rapids, Michigan, I never dictated what songs that were going to happen, and they always work with the talk. It's good to be in the flow. This talk title is Dig, Heal, Harvest, Growing Through the Challenges on the Way to the Harvest. Maisie and I are going to embark on a journey next week. We're going to be on a cruise called Reinvention, and I'm going to be a guest speaker there. And Dig, Heal, Harvest is going to be a 2-hour workshop that I'm going to present. So I'm going to give you that 2-hour workshop in about 15, 20 minutes. I have a rule that if I have more than a page full of notes, I have too many notes. And I have to say, I kind of went on the back of the page a little bit. But the fonts are big, so. It's hard to not leave this talk behind and talk about the spiritual nature of NFL football today. Because I had a spiritual experience yesterday. But I'm going to let that go. If any of my friends from Michigan are watching, I'm with you today. Hope the Michiganders come to town next week. We have a lot of Michigan people here for some reason. I don't know. Probably the weather. I have in my practice, in my work of being a Unity member, and in going to the silence, I have found something that is mine to share. And I don't expect you to believe me. I don't expect you to think the way I think, but it is my duty to give you what I have found for me. And what I have found for me is that there's something in our language that clued me into something. It's like when Myrtle heard somebody else speak and said, "Oh, I'm a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness." There's something in me that has spoken that way, and that is that we say something. We say something that's very important. We say, "I knew it in my gut. I knew it in my gut." We also say, "We know it in our heart." We also, all of us, know it in our mind. This is part of our language. We say these things. Why would we say these things if they are not true? To me, in my practice and in my study of what unity represents, as we are the eachness in the allness, like Eric Butterworth would say, my eachness says that the gut is where we hold who we are. It is that place of knowing what you know, that you know, that you know, that you know. So when we venture out into the world, sometimes we are very connected to that, and sometimes we are not connected to that. Sometimes we move away from that knowing. You know, I've been honored with either walking a bride down the aisle or being the minister at a wedding. And I say to those people the same thing every time. Okay, look, everybody's here. The food is paid for, right? And it would be probably disappointing to somebody. But if you don't want to do this, you don't have to do this. It's just the truth. I've actually had people come back to me and said, years later, after the divorce, I didn't want to do it. When you said that to me, I knew right then. But I did it anyway, right? So it's moving away from that knowing what you know, that you know, that you know. So in putting this together, I wrote a book during pandemic because I was in Michigan and there was snow on the ground and I couldn't go anywhere. So I wrote a book called Sunward. And Sunward I have shared with several different people. It actually is the first book that I wrote during pandemic. I was a part of 3 books during pandemic. I made use of my time. But it was the first book I wrote, but it is yet to be released. But I have let certain people read it, and one of these people is a brilliant human being, a person named Amy Burke Hernandez. And she said, oh, I had aha moments all through that book. But, I'm ADD, and I need the Cliff Notes version. Can you make the Cliff Notes, just kind of, take all the points of each chapter and just kind of, condense it for me, please? And I said, I'll do that if you help me. So we came up with something called Dig, Heal, Harvest, which is basically a condensed version of Sunward. And in that, we came up with the acronym Dig, Heal, Harvest. So I'm going to talk first about dig. Dig, what we came up with for dig is define, examining the definition of ourself. I is investigate, interpretation of our findings. G is goal, setting a goal in line with our inner knowing. Boy, I could talk for 2 hours on that, 2 days on that. But there's this thing of knowing what we know. I'll give you an example that I use in the book Sunward of a woman who always wanted to be a ballerina, and she still wanted to be a ballerina, but now she's 50 years old, and the New York Ballet, the Paris Ballet, they're not looking for 50-year-old people, right? But her house is about ballet. There's ballerinas on the wall. There's shoes hanging from the wall. There's, all these things. The ballet is playing as she's cleaning her house, right? Well, in her mind, there's this place where, that's gone past. That would never happen, but I dreamed of that. She opened up a dance school and had a lot of young people coming to learn various types of dance, including ballet. And she realized that the people who bring the kids to the dance school were actually dancers themselves at one time, a lot of them. So she started a conversation with them, and guess what they did? They created a ballet for themselves. This is greatness. This is going within and moving it out. It is the greatness of connecting to something that you know that you know. It is not only about accomplishing things, however, when we do these diggings. We can dig to find where it is that what is not bringing peace to us. Jim Carrey, the actor, comedian, I'm just going to paraphrase him, but he said, I wish that everyone could know fame and getting all this money, because then you would know that that's not it. So knowing ourselves is the greater commodity. It's the greater thing that we can have. Being able to connect clearly is the greater thing that we can have. So right now, I'm just going to do a real quick, I'm going to have you participate with me real quick. I want you to hold a seed in your mind, right? You have a seed in your mind. Now remember, if you have an orange seed, you get oranges, right? If you have a seed for carnations, you'll get carnations. But hold this seed right now in your mind's eye. It can be something that is physical, a plant, a tree. It can be a goal. It can be anything that you want it to be. I'm not going to dictate what that seed is. But now, in your gut, breathe in and bring some energy to that seed. I love that. Take another deep breath and bring some energy into your heart, from your heart into that seed. Take another deep breath and bring some energy to that seed from your mind. You have just healed something in your life. I'm sure of it. And however you vision that growth, there's something beyond that. So as we go into our gut to find what those things are, we find the things that are in our heart. Myrtle Fillmore said, "Life is simply a form of energy and has to be guided and directed in man's body by his intelligence. How do we communicate intelligence? By thinking and talking, of course. Then it flashed upon me that I might talk to the life in every part of my body and have it do just as what I wanted. I began to teach my body and got marvelous results." You know, the seed goes into the darkness, right? And it doesn't know what it's going to face as it, it could be rocky soil, it could be sandy soil. There's only the darkness surrounding it. So you only know if you're going to get oranges if you know you have an orange seed, right? But when we go into that place and we go within, we get to the next place in our life is our heart. Now, we are taught that our brain holds the things that we think about, right? Our brain is is the file cabinet, the compartment where we hold our memories. But in my practice and in my life, I find it there to be a different truth. The truth that I find is that I hold all those things in my heart. If I think about the things that have hurt me, if I think about the things that I was triumphant over, if I think about the things and the challenges that I faced that were so daunting and I actually got through it, it's all in my heart. I can feel it. I can feel it in my heart. I've had two not major surgeries, but minor surgeries in my life. I had my appendix taken out when I was 8, which went to peritonitis and was very, very painful. And I had rotator cuff surgery. Now, I can think of those things, and I don't feel the pain, thank God. But I can think of something. I can think of something I said or did, and I feel the pain all over again. That is in my heart. So as I examine those things that give me pain, I go into that heart space. I bring some compassion to myself. Even learned from somebody in the mindfulness field to say, "Sweetheart, this is hard. Yes. And I give myself some compassion and understanding that there's something that I need to look at. There's something that I need to bring into a different consciousness. There's something that I can examine, and that thing that hurt me the most, I can look at, what did it bring me? What did it change in me? And we can all think of something that we probably wouldn't want anybody to know about us or to know that happened to us, or, all of us have that. But if I can look at that and say, ooh, being treated that way made me stronger in this way. Being treated that way, or me treating others that way, I have learned that I don't want to be that. I've learned that the more compassion that I bring to my heart, the more understanding that I bring to myself, the easier it is to bring compassion and understanding to somebody in any circumstance. I'm in this place in my life right now where I work as a community association manager. You know what that is? As a person that gets yelled at all day. I am the scourge of the earth to people. And I could fight back if I hadn't done the work within my heart. But often I bring compassion to the situation, not because I'm great, but it's because I've moved in me and know what that anger is. I know that it's mostly probably fear. I know how to recognize what I'm facing as somebody is speaking to me in a very horrible, harsh tone. I've gotten to the place in my life where I listen to them as if it's me speaking to me. Where have I been that way? When have I talked to another person that way? What was I going through? What was I feeling? And as I bring that new consciousness to me, within me, that conversation turns into something else. I'm better able to hear what they're saying. I'm better able to put myself in their position and figure out, or maybe just touch what they might truly be asking for, or what they're truly facing in their own life. My colleagues don't know how I can have somebody come in so angry and have them laughing as they walk out the door. But it isn't because of my greatness or my skill. It's because of my determination to do that work within my own heart, for me, about me. So in HEAL, the acronym HEAL, we look at the hurtful history, a new vision of painful accounts of the past. E is explore emotions and beliefs, evaluating our thought download, what is true versus what is story. A is acceptance, appreciate the process of emotions and benefit your divinity. And L, learn, letting go and appreciation of the pain. Release for peace. Charles Fillmore said, get by yourself and make this realization that all is spirit, that I am spirit, that I am one with the infinite spirit. And call down upon these subconscious altars and stones the material consciousness that has come in. Call down the spiritual power. Make the unity in yourself, and you will find that you will be uplifted, and the transmutation will go on. As I say, This rite and ceremony must be repeated day after day until the whole man is like the Christ, raised to an entirely new kind of man. So we have examined the gut, where we know what we know. We have examined the heart, where we keep these things, where we keep the circumstances of what our path is, where we keep the circumstances of what we have faced in our lives. The mind, when we do our work in the silence, is not a place for planning, I have found in my practice. It's a place for letting things be free. It's a place of, once you know in your gut who you are and what you're doing here, and you go to the place of healing your experiences, then you can go to the place of the mind, where you can know the abundance of the entire earth beneath your feet. You can know the abundance of all the universe that's around you. You can learn and know and see things in ways that are beyond you. I don't know if the story is true or not, but I'm going to say that the person that made the Singer sewing machine did not know how to do the bobbin. Had no way, tried many, many different things, and you pull out the garment and just the thread would just come right out. But in a dream, being chased by native people with spears with a hook on the end, came to a place of knowing how to create the bobbin. These are things that, and this is a place where in your dreams you can fly, right? So if your mind was about planning everything exactly the way things are supposed to go, then how would you possibly have a dream that you're walking on the ceiling, or you're seeing somebody who hasn't been alive in the last 20 years, or your mind is a place for the possibilities, not the plans. So that's why I, in this practice, use my mind in the silence. I go to be bigger than me, to be greater than me, to know greater things, to be a part of more than me. So in the harvest, what we do when we're using our gut and our heart and our mind, we move to that place of harvest. The H is honor yourself, knowing what is planted. A, anticipate obstacles, an action plan for inclement weather. R, recharge often, reward, realization. V, value all progress, value, vitality. E, evolve and grow. Experience life on life's terms. S, share with others. Succeed and sustain. It is the strength of enlightened self-interest. When you bring your gifts to other people, however that is. A simple phone call, a note. My granddaughter got me a cup with pictures of us this year. I said thank you at the time, but later, it was greater than that. I see her every day. So I sent her a little note, and she says, "Oh my God, this brings such a great feeling to my heart." T, trust. Trusting the process and the growth in the place within in knowing. I know that to some people, sharing my practice may not make a lot of sense, or there are parts of what I'm sharing with you today that maybe don't sit with you and in a place of knowing or understanding. But I know my process. My partner Maisie knows how I process things and what I use from these teachings. If I don't use these teachings, then I'm just coming to church, right? Which is important. But sharing your process with other people is so important. You have to trust within yourself that you're in a place, a safe place to share with other people. If you go on a journey, a spiritual journey by yourself, you may come to find many, many aha moments. But if you don't share them with others as you go along the way, all of a sudden you're talking about stuff that nobody knows what you're talking about. But if you share them as you go along on your journey, then we all are able to grow. That's the importance of this building. God is everything. Mother, Father, God is everywhere. We don't need this building. It's not important to our spiritual growth. But we need the community of growing together and sharing our growth with each other. So that's why we're here, I hope. Now, I got to the other side of the page, and I got like 5 minutes left. And it's only this much of the page. Let me say, I would like to share the fuller version of this, the 2-hour or several-day workshop with you sometime. So if anybody's interested, please let me know. And we can dig into this way deeper. And maybe some things that you have questions about would make more sense. Another quote from Charles Fillmore. Now this morning, let us enter into the supreme consciousness, founded upon the understanding that there is but one life, one substance, one intelligence, and that all things express that life. Let substance, that intelligence, that they express and manifest in according to their understandings of themselves as that life, that substance, that intelligence. Eric Butterworth shares a story of a woman who went on a cruise, but it wasn't a journey of just going on the cruise for the cruise's sake. It was coming from Europe to this country to live. And she was not well off. She saved and saved and saved and saved to get here. She bought a ticket to be on a ship, and when she boarded the ship, she had a small basket of bread and fruit. And she went off to her room to take this journey to a new life. While she was in her room, she ate small portions of this food to get her through the journey. By the time she got here, she was weak because she hadn't eaten very much. But she was, the word Eric uses is chagrined to find out that the ticket that she purchased offered her full fare of all of the food. So she was growing, she was moving, she was changing her life. But she, in her mind, made that journey a different thing than it could have been, because she didn't open up her consciousness to walking out the door and finding out that she could have eaten like a queen, like the whole time. So I hope that whatever it is that you grew in your hands, in your heart, or your gut, in your heart, and your mind today with me is a great blessing to all. I know that it is a healing within you. Final thing that I have to say today is your personal growth is the act of healing your life. The seed within you is an expression of life. It is a piece of the wholeness of your spirit. Ignoring this piece brings you unrest. Choosing to cultivate this part of you brings to life the essence of the entire incarnation of your soul, befitting to the remarkable phenomenon of your birth. Your greatness. Each and every one of you. Namaste.
Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you, I will never forsake you. Never forget you, I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you, I will never forsake you. Never forget you, I will never forsake you. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. I will never forget you, I will never forsake you. Never forget you, I will never forsake you.
Let us take a moment to go within. Those things that bring you joy and peace and harmony are imprinted in you. They are part of your journey here. As you move the pieces together, may something beyond your consciousness come. May it be a super consciousness, bringing you gifts and lessons and knowing for harmony within you. A minister who served here for many years, Vic Jenkins, had a chapter in his book saying, "Waging peace within." Let us know how to wage peace within us. Let us connect to peace at every turn for circumstances that we have. Let peace take over. For illness that we have, let healing come in the form of peace. Where our mind is obsessed, let us let go for the peace of all things. Find something in your heart to make peace with. Let's take that into the silence. Let us know a greater understanding. Let us have a larger vision of our circumstances. Let the blessing and abundance of all things be within us as the balance of our gut, the balance of our heart, and the balance of our mind becomes a greater consciousness for the movement and growth and healing of our life. Now let your mind come back into this room, into this moment. Look around the room and see the beauty of the people around you. Try and give to them the look of looking at yourself, knowing that we have shared visions as a community. And so it is. Thank you, God.
Listen, listen, listen to your heart song. Listen, listen, listen to your heart's song.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Jim, for that wonderful message. Our ushers are coming forward, and this is the time in our service where we take something in our hands and in our hearts, as Jim was describing, something that we love, and we give it to our spiritual community, whatever that may be. The gift of your time, your talent, your treasure. You take that in your hand. And there's many ways to give financially to our spiritual community. You can text the word give to the number that's up on the board. You can go to our website and press the donate button. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way and take a check or cash in your hand and bless it. And we're going to do that now together. The words that are up on the board. God's love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and have, all that I give and receive. I am grateful.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed. Join me if you wish. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And it's through our deep love and gratitude for the blessings that we do have that we know that all of our needs are being met each day in every way. So what we'd like to do is have you stand as you're able, and we're going to form something closely resembling a circle as we sing our peace song in conclusion of our Sunday service.
And today, this week's thought to take with us: your personal growth is the act of healing your life. Repeat that with me, please. Your personal growth is the act of healing your life.
And thank you, everybody. Please join us in the social hall. Remember, I said there's a big cake for Mike's birthday. We'd love to talk to you if you're here for the first time. Thank you. See you next week.